Everybody understands that the future of transportation is ultimately decarbonized. The real question is, how do you get there in that future, and how fast do you get to that future? And our view would be don't necessarily specify how, and our view would also be that it's probably going to take longer than some people think. It's a challenge for a lot of automakers, especially those that currently don't have an electric vehicle, for instance, in their fleet.
Despite the fact that there's been billions of dollars invested in the technology, in battery technology, in range extension, and in performance, it's really not yet at the level where there is a critical mass of consumer demand in terms of the electric vehicle. It's growing. Governments and the industry are making investments in terms of charging infrastructure for electric vehicles, and it will continue to grow, but it's growing from a very low base. I mean, it's barely more than 0% of the overall car market right now. It's a very challenging, if not impossible, target for Quebec dealers to meet. To go from less than 1% to 3.5% or 4% in that tight of time period, when the consumer demand, the consumer awareness doesn't exist.
We've set as a global target a 90% reduction in carbon emissions by the middle of the century. So from a corporate policy standpoint and government policy standpoint, I think we're well aligned. In terms of how you get there, I think it's important for us not to select a single technology, but to look at a broad band of technology, whether that's improvements in conventional cars, whether that's EV, hybrid, fuel cell technology.
I think the more people we get into driving these vehicles and seeing that, I don't have to make changes in my lifestyle to be able to do what I need to do, right? In the early onset of EVs, if you wanted to be an EV driver, you really had to make some compromises in your life of where you can go in your mobility, right? So it's about where I can go and when.
A lot of consumer awareness will need to be generated, and consumer education and trial to meet those very aggressive goals.